Hi, Brian Smith here. Today we're going to tie you the Mayfly extended abdomen in a parachute style for the hackle. And the winging, I'm just going to show you the tools of the trade. For the body, we're going to use a gray, fairly longish deer hair, longer than the wing material. And for the wing material, we'll use a shorter one. And for the tail, we're going to use some moose hair. For the hackle, we're going to use dun hackle. And for the hook, today we're going to tie it on a 2x long dry fly hook, size 14. First of all, what I'm going to do is take my hook and I'm just going to debarb it. Usually do it in my vise, like so. And get some tying thread on there. Going to use tan tying thread. Just lay down a base. Notice that I'm stopping my thread at about two eye lengths back from the abdomen. First item I want to take is for the tails, and take some moose hair. Only need about 5 good pieces of moose hair, about 5 pieces of tail. Want to get them all the same, so what I'll do is I'll stack them in my hair stacker. And we'll just put them down like so. Get them to come out of here nicely. So I want them to be pretty much the same length and about 5 fibers. So for length for this, I take the length of the hook shank and then I take it down to the end of the hook. And I'm going to tie these moose hairs on. The theory behind the extended abdomen is this is going to go over top of the moose hairs extending beyond the body of the hook. And just tie that in like so. Get underneath it, bring it up a little bit. Come back to the about 3 eye lengths or so back. I'm going to take a little bit longer deer hair because I need it to go to the length. And again, I don't need a ton of it. Just trim it out so it's pretty much the same length. And I'm going to wrap this right over top of the deer hair. Over the moose hair, what I'm going to do is come about halfway up the moose hair at the end of the hook. That's fairly important. And I'm going to come back and tie it in here. I'll trim up a little bit here. Get some of the loose stuff. And with your thread, wrap right over the abdomen. In other words, I'm coming back. I'm going to do about 3, 4, 5 wraps, like so, to there. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to reverse it now in the vise, like so. And I'm going to continue wrapping up the moose hair. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 wraps up. Then I'm going to come back down. This has been an excellent fly for me in rivers. And it's pretty much all deer and moose hair, so floating materials. I can take this now and put it back in the vise the correct way. And I'm going to continue wrapping up to the tie-off point. So we've got segmented abdomen, and we've got here the reason that I came up short on the moose hair at the back because I now want to take and just trim this deer hair off. If you had done it the same length, you'd be having a lot of trouble doing this. And basically that's forms that little knot and your tails are sticking up. Okay. Now I'm going to take another length of deer hair, which is those shorter ones, the same one I use for the CDC caddis. And I'll take some of this, and this is going to be my wing material. Again, you probably want about 15 to 20 fibers is usually enough. I'll measure it. You want to keep these fairly short. You don't want to have them too long because they'll flop over in the water. But basically I'm gonna tie it in right here. So I'm about 2 eye lengths behind the eye. Trim this up while I've got it here. Working with deer hair takes a little bit of practice, but pretty soon you get good at it. And I'm going to finish my eye off here right now. Now what I want to do is I want to post this. So I'll take it, my right hand, go left-handed, and I'm going to post this. Posting is what's putting that the fibers straight up, like a wing or anything like that. Swinging material. Okay. And I wrapped about 5 turns of thread up the post. This is where I want to sit my winging material, or my hackle material in. So now I've got my parachuting hackle. Your hackle should be a little bit larger. In other words, for a 14, I've probably got a 12 in hackle. I'm going to take it and tie it in. What I do with my hackle is, as you can see, is I've trimmed it back a little bit like this. What that does is form an anchor. It's very frustrating if you start getting everything finished, and because the stems of the feathers are roundish, you want to flatten them down, and you also want to clip that hackle up. It sort of forms a bit of a anchor that won't come loose when you want to tighten up. Okay. Now for the parachute, what I want to do is I want to stand this up. So I'll put it up in the air like so, and I'm going to make some turns around it, around the bottom. So I've got it standing like that. And you want it to be the flat side down, in other words, shiny side up. And I'm just going to make about 5 turns around that posted wing. You notice I've left my tying thread just in front of the wing, because what I do is I now tie off and I come through this winging hackle to tie it off. About 5 turns. Clip it. Come up and finish off my fly. A few whip finishes on it. And we're finished. We can. Okay, and there's your parachute mayfly, and it's an excellent fly for rivers. It's all hair, and there's nothing to weigh it down, and it works great on the rivers. And you can tie these down to a size 18 even, or a size 20. Thank you.